All right, everybody. Welcome to Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast. Lockpod coming to you live from the Smith Sursick Studio and sponsored by the NECA IBEW Power in Indiana, Lake County.
We are compassless.
Yes, we are.
John Cantrell appearing on behalf and instead of Kevin Smith.
What's up, JRC?
Nothing.
Good to see you.
I'm excited. Kevin's got some crazy stuff going on. It's sexy.
Work related.
No, it's
interfering with Lockpod.
This is next level litigation stuff. He has a big
group.
train accident coming up where one of his clients died and the other one has a terrible brain injury.
Whoa.
I feel bad for the whole family. It's a dad died, daughter got hurt real bad. So he's going to trial in November. So he has a focus group, like a fake jury trial to get feedback from the jury. So he's heading up to Chicago this morning to do that.
Yeah, I knew it was a focus group. I didn't know all the background.
Kevin is an NBA litigator. Him and Kevin Smith and Steve Sursick. If you're injured, call them. Like he's the intense advocate you want.
That's awesome. Thanks. And then we're going. What's up, Johnny?
Hey,
Good
morning.
to see you.
Yeah.
We're going Lindsay list today, so it's just three dudes in the studio. 3 dudes in the studio.
You know, so I feel more
There's
comfortable.
the title, like right off the bat.
I feel more comfortable saying dirty stuff without,
Well, I mean, she's my daughter, dude. I mean, I get the. She looks at me like, Dad.
I feel so weird. I'm like talking about your nipples, and I look over, and
she's got like a little tear coming down.
She has her heads up.
She's like, don't talk about my dad's nipples.
She knows you have 3. You guys have a pool.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody?
Hey, chat's already coming in hot.
Yes.
Deanna Grimes says, thanks for sporting your Calumet Region Strider shirt, Tom.
Yes.
Get an image of that.
You want to give a shout out to the Striders? Tell everybody what a Strider is.
This is a super cool shirt, and it's a running group from the region.
Is that leather?
No, it's not leather. This is just a normal shirt.
Okay.
It's cool though. I like black long sleeve shirts, especially this time of year.
People who like biking like leather.
Yeah.
And like
I like biking, but I'm a cyclist. It's different.
Oh yeah. I consider you a biker.
Dude, I got the great. Oh, did I cut you off, bud? I'm
I was just gonna say, speaking of shirts, got a shipping notification. Your T Swift shirt is in the mail.
Yeah,
I've heard that one.
So.
I won't believe it until I'm wearing it. We're going to the concert Friday.
I was in Kevin's office.
You should take Mimi. You can go with us. It only costs you a smooth like $8,000. You and Mimi. You should just buy the whole family tickets.
No,
you're a pimp.
No, I know they are going for $4,000 a ticket.
I know they're dropping.
Yeah. So I was in Kevin's office and he had a book on his desk, and I was like, wow, Kevin is like a hopeless romantic. I saw the title of the book and I was like, whoa, but it turns out
Stopping Premature Ejaculation.
Yeah, right.
No.
Squeeze hard.
No, that might be in the first drawer, but on top of his desk, I thought it was like a romance novel.
That's the one you don't leave on top.
No.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. You put on the back of the toilet, right next to the Farrah Fawcett poster.
That's a throwback.
Yeah. So it's a Taylor Swift concert guide.
Yes.
And so
I think Jill gave that to him.
He's on page 78, by the way. So like,
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's got more to do.
I think Jill gave that to him.
Yeah,
because Jill has been giving Kevin like private lessons on Taylor Swift, which is sort of intimidating.
Yeah.
Because John, I mean, I'm immersed, so like I jumped in, but Vez is going sort of naked, man. He doesn't really.
No. Knowledge is power. You don't want to look like a fool there.
But John knows 1989 though because of Ryan Adams.
Her earlier stuff, yeah. And I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to tell everyone now. I'm getting kind of excited, Tom.
Oh, I'm definitely I'm psyched.
You talk about we took Amelia to that concert because Matt Fetch hooked us up with tickets at Soldier
Chicago.
Field, in Soldier Field.
Whoa.
Yeah. So remember we talked about
I forgot about that.
How I needed to be there
like,
because
was
to
she
circumvent the lines. Yeah, she was actually in shock.
Yeah.
Like she
when Taylor came out in the first song.
Well, just the whole concert.
Did you love it?
It was amazing. Oh, it was unbelievable.
We're gonna have fun.
Yes, you will for sure.
You don't know all of her songs either, right?
No, but I mean, I live in a house with a 9-year-old.
No, I agree. But like, I know the songs like pretty well. Like, I know most. Like, I bet you I know at least half of the songs she plays.
Are we out of the woods yet?
That's part of.
I don't know that one.
Oh,
my wife's hip and she loves Taylor Swift. So
your wife is in the Taylor Swift sweet zone.
Yeah,
she's a Swiftie.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I
Nice.
can totally see that. Because, like, any woman at that age, John's, I'm not going to guess her age, but she's young. She's in her 30s.
Yeah,
and I think if you're in your 30s.
Yeah, she's progressive. She loves her politics, and she loves her message and her energy.
Wait, what does that have to do with T Swift? Is she political?
Who? Taylor Swift?
Yeah. I mean, only when it matters. Only in the big races.
Is she political?
She's not pushing the county coroner.
Well, she's 0 for 1.
I'd like to
so far.
I'd like to see what after she
did 2016.
Governor. Yeah.
Oh, Tennessee governor.
Yeah.
But after she asked people to register and she endorsed a candidate, I guarantee you the register to vote numbers went up.
Oh,
yeah.
It did.
Well, I mean, like
it did go up, but like whether that's going to translate, hopefully.
I mean, it's easy to get someone to register to vote. Getting them to the polls on election day.
I noticed today's show had a lot of. I mean, I'm not trying to do this on purpose, but it's focusing on the presidential race pretty hard.
Yeah.
I'm cognizant of the fact that John's in the studio with me today. And I'm sure he looks at the fucking script and just is like, "What the hell, right, John?"
Well, he sees the news.
Do you?
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is all good stories. Like, I mean, granted, my algorithm isn't going to feed me bad stories about Kamala, I guess, right?
Okay.
But I'm more than willing to bring those forward.
Can we start out the segment when Trump has this huge rally at Madison Square Garden?
We got that one.
This is the topic,
but like it's out of order. You're like, can we do the third segment first?
No, but when we start the third segment,
I'd like to change the whole show around. Can we talk about this?
When we start the third segment, I want to hear the Fox News / Vesmar version of what happened at Madison Square Gardens. I would like to hear.
I would like to hear that too.
Yeah,
because that was crazy shit.
Yeah,
biblical event.
It is,
dude.
That
check
won
this
him
out,
the election.
So like the other day. This is a crazy story, okay? And I like immediately sat down and put it in my freaking notes so I could remember this, all right? So I'm at Sportsplex being mayor the other day. And after, it was like 10 in the morning, I got done giving a speech to some employees. Right after Lockpod, I'm like, dude, I'm going to go get some tacos. It's like 10 in the morning, right? And we have Fuerte down the street. The place opens early in the morning. I just had a hunkering for tacos.
It's great, cheap tacos.
Oh, my God. Dude.
Yes.
They're the best.
The negative part is the line's so long sometimes that
it's ridiculous.
Yes.
But 10 in the morning, line's not that long.
Oh, see, that's good. That's a good one.
So I'm pulling up to Fuerte, and it's right on the boulevard. And I notice there's a NIPSCO pole out in front of it. And on top of the NIPSCO pole, there's this huge falcon. Dude, I'm not shitting. The thing is standing on top of the lamp pole. It's like 3 feet tall, just standing there. And then I'm like, wow! Like it was just amazing. You don't ever see falcon sitting still like that.
No, how big was it,
dude? Huge, John. It was 3 feet tall, but like without its wings unfurled, it was just sitting there chilling, getting attacked by 2 crows. What? So 2 crows are like attacking it.
Now see,
it was sitting there chilling on the. It's chilling on the lamppost, getting attacked by 2 crows.
I'm analyzing this story, and if this was at 10 at night, I would think were you listening to some Grateful Dead,
morning,
and then you saw a falcon?
Dude, believe me, this gets a little crazy, and I'm like looking around. I'm the only one that sees this. This is a crazy thing, okay?
And you were sober?
I was totally sober.
Okay.
Just got off Lockpod.
Okay.
And just got done talking to my employees. So I pull in, and I'm like, I'm getting this thing on video, dude, right? This is a huge falcon in front of my taco shop. So I sit there, and then I'm like, I was just mesmerized watching the crows attack it. I didn't pull my phone out. I was like, this is fucking crazy. There's 2 crows and this freaking big old falcon that could waste one of the crows, but it's like having trouble dealing with 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
And the falcon's like, fuck this. I'm getting the fuck out of here, right?
Yeah.
Screw this taco stand, right? So the falcon decides to swoop down. Instead of swoop up. You start going up. You don't go down. But it went down. And unfortunately, when this falcon swooped down to get away from the crows, bam! Freaking semi nails it.
Oh,
right in front of me, dude. Feathers everywhere. And this huge falcon flies right by me. It gets hit by the semi. I'm like, ah! And it's like scrambling and the crows are flying. And I'm like, ah! And it's like, ah! And it flies right into a building right next door to the taco stand. More feathers. And then the crows are attacking it and it flies across the street. And I'm like, what? Holy shit. It happened right in front of me, right? I'm the only person around.
You were high.
I was not.
There's no way.
I run into the taco stand. I'm like, did you guys just see that? And they're looking at me like, who is this psycho? I'm like, this falcon just got hit by a semi out in front. Everybody's like, what? There's no falcon. There's nothing. There's no evidence that it even happened, right? And I'm like, I'm serious. A falcon just got hit by a semi. And everybody's like, what the fuck? And plus it's like heavy Spanish speaking in this taco stand.
Yeah.
So they're like, I have no say. I don't understand you. So I'm just like, okay, give me 5 tacos, right? And I'm waiting, and then I see some lady is out in front, and I'm like, that lady saw it, right? Mm-hmm. So I went out. I'm like, did you just see what happened? She's like, it flew right into my window. I'm like, thank God, right? And then it was dead. We saw the falcon the crows were still attacking its dead body right next door.
That is
Crazy.
It's the craziest story.
I was like, holy shit. All this happened like right in front of my eyes. And I was the only one that saw it besides this lady.
In Spanish, hawk is falcon.
Falcon.
Yes.
Muerte falcon.
Mm-hmm. And so you probably confuse them. Yeah, because they're like, no, that's a falcon, not a hawk. And you were saying,
I tell you what, though. I did not order the chicken that day. I ordered the pork all day.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I didn't want them to get any ideas.
Too many feathers.
My favorite part of that story is you run into the restaurant. Did you guys see that falcon get hit? Everyone's like, what are you talking about? And you're like, give me 5 tacos.
Yeah.
You still want your tacos.
Yeah, make it pork.
Hey, Steve Kellogg, can you use the blue net to see if this did actually happen?
Ooh.
Like get the camera footage.
Yeah, we could get
an
LPR of the semi that hit it, but the semi couldn't do anything. It's the Falcon's fault. It flew down.
No, it's the hawk. It's the Hawk's fault technically.
Hey, did you watch the World Series?
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm like being a good spouse. I got a Yankee jersey. Rizzo,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course.
That's Cubs,
sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Quasi-Cub.
So it's a Yankee jersey. I'm being a good spouse. John, my wife's a Yankey fan. They're in the World Series, and like Marissa knows baseball pretty well, but she's like hopelessly romantic about the Yankees.
And she'll dress up.
Hardcore.
Yeah, and for Halloween.
She's a Yankee fan.
Player. Yeah,
right. She puts up with the Cubs for me, but she's a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
And then I told her when this whole thing started, I was like, dude, like, this is the best team in the history of baseball that the Yankees are playing, Marissa. Like the lineup, it was $1 billion baseball team.
Yeah.
Like
MVP city.
It's like there's 5 MVPs like in this game. It's like I'm just trying to like set the stage. Like, babe, this may not go well. Man, dude, I'm telling you, the Yankees. Well, first off, they were winning game 1. That would have been huge, and then it was stolen.
Yeah.
And then like they're just getting dominated.
So a grand slam, a walk-off grand slam, the first
in game 1
in World Series history.
And Freddie Freeman's money, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an MVP.
He's going to be.
Yeah.
If they win, he's the MVP. We all
sure.
know it. He's got 6 home runs, doesn't he?
Yep. I mean, he's on fire.
Yeah.
He's got a cool dance.
He's got a great story too.
Yeah.
His kid was sick this year, and he's like coming back during the World Series, and he's a champ. And like in Shohei's in the lineup, and Mookie Betts in the lineup, and he's the hero.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's amazing when you outshine like some of the best players ever in baseball. But I feel as though so the Yankees are giving them a run for their money in New York, and then the Dodgers hit a walk-off grand slam, and now it seems like the last 2 games.
That was in L.A. though.
Oh, I'm sorry, in L.A.
But yeah, the Yankees could have stole that one.
Yeah, and it's hard to win on the road in the playoffs, and the Yankees are demoralized. I feel like like this is the point where your coach goes out and gets thrown out of the game, or gets a technical because you got to wake everybody up. And
like Judge is like clueless right now. He has no idea what's going on.
No,
and that's not good. He's lost in the World Series, like not good.
So
and he's honestly, he had one of the best baseball seasons in the history of the game. Like this year, he's the MVP of the American League this year, but he is
not in the playoffs.
No, man, he's batting like 140 and just brutal.
If you look in their dugout, they're defeated.
Yeah,
and it's over.
They're a power team too. They're built around home runs, and if they're not hitting home runs, which they're not, like I mean, the Dodgers are also the best team in the history of the game. This is one of the best teams of all time, in my opinion, and it's playing perfect right now. They're clicking.
I hope that the Yankees win a couple to make the series interesting too, and then
I hope so too, to
not let all these Yankee fans be so sad.
Well, that game 1. That grand slam at the end of the game was heartbreaking in a number of ways, and that could have just flipped the whole series in game 1.
Yeah,
because that's the Yankees are up 1-0 on the road. That's huge in the World Series. And hey, man, have you ever met Greg Popovich?
No,
you're a basketball guy, a region guy.
He's from East Chicago.
I know.
Yeah, so
he's a region guy.
So
that's why
I'm a huge
fan.
That. No, I'm a huge fan, but I've never met him.
I'm a huge fan too. You know what I love about him? Because I don't know shit about basketball. I love the fact that he just fucking just tells it like it is.
Yeah,
I just love that. I wonder why. By the way, like I think Greg Popovich was come on Lockpod. By the way, John.
Yeah,
I think Greg Popovich. You, John?
Yes.
Nice.
He loves the region.
Do we know anybody that's close to him? We should reach out.
Steve.
Okay.
Get on it.
By the way, while we're talking about guests, you want to go there, John?
Yes.
Like we got a huge guest coming up.
Ready.
I think we're going to interview him off air. It's going to be aired live on the show. John, you're not going to believe this. Have you watched The Golden Bachelorette?
No, I've watched half an episode because my wife watches it.
The Golden Bachelorette has a region guy on there.
Okay.
His name is Jack Lencioni. Okay. He owns Lencioni's Catering, and I know him through politics, through Lencioni's Catering, which is spectacular catering. Spectacular.
They got a great restaurant too in Chicago Heights.
And he is a character. That's one thing about him. He's a good-looking dude. He's a total like extrovert. Reminds me of you, John. Like he's very good-looking. Oh, you notice that? Notice that?
We have our
That's for you.
We have our office Christmas party there. Bill Padula has his office Christmas party there, and we always go there because he's really close with him, and the guy's hilarious. I've seen him in person.
Well, he's on the Golden Bachelorette, being that guy.
Yeah,
he's like exactly what we're talking about. He's on the Golden Bachelorette, and he's catching America by force.
Wow,
like,
everybody loves him. Yeah,
we got him as a freaking guest on Lockpod, dude.
That's fantastic.
That is one of the biggest cats of all time, in my opinion, for us. Like, first off, he's a fan. Secondly, he knows us through politics, and he wants to come on Lockpod. Yes. I don't know how many of these interviews he's doing, but like, don't tell him.
Who cares?
Don't tell him. Hey, we're used to these huge interviews, Jack.
Yeah.
Show him the numbers from your 420 commercial.
These are typical show. We get these
yeah,
kinds of numbers. Yeah. So anyway, he's going to be on either Friday or Tuesday next week. So, But I think if we reach out to Popovich, I think we get the similar type of response. If we say, "Hey, Greg, this is Mayor Hammond. He has a podcast. It's listened to by millions, right?
Right. Oh, of course.
That's how we sell it, right?
Conservative.
He comes on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Steve's on it.
All right, Steve. Thanks. I love having an agent on the show. Steve is. Like, because we come up with some crazy shit, and Steve's always listening, right?
And I'll say he's a closer, too. Like, he's the guy who goes and gets it
He
done.
got Lencioni.
Yeah.
He got Lencioni.
That's amazing.
Last show, I'm like, Taylor Swift shirt, done, right? We were, like, driving around. We were like, vagina candle, boom. Next show, vagina candle. Well, you know what I'm saying?
T-Swift shirts are easier than getting Popovich on the show, I will say that. But, we'll see what he can do. This is a true test.
Who is that candle by? Who was the candle done by?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was just a normal candle. It was just a normal candle.
Did you see?
It's just a normal candle. Total ripoff. We paid like $150 for that candle.
Vesmar had to go back and try to think with his nose, like, whose candle was that? Oh yeah, that's Gwyneth.
But Steve is also the kind of guy. To John's point, you go to a concert with him. Next thing you know, he walks up with like some wristband that gets you like backstage.
Totally.
Like he's a closer.
He pulls that cop stuff.
Yeah.
So we're at
or magician stuff.
Bill Mayer. We're in Vegas. Were you with me with that, John?
No.
Okay, this is a Steve story. We're in Vegas.
Bill Mayer?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. That's like the night I got COVID.
That is the night you got COVID. Right.
Which time?
So this is during COVID, so it makes sense that we got COVID. But so we're out there, and we're going to see Bill Mayer, and I was running for Senate. It was like towards the beginning of the campaign, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to meet him, right? And I figured we have a shot. I'm running for U.S. Senate, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It gets you in the door in a lot of places, right?
Best shot ever.
So Steve pitches it. So we watch the whole concert. And then after, some dude comes up to us and is like, come with us. And we're like, fucking totally. Like, we follow this dude backstage, walks us right to the freaking dressing room of Bill Mayer. And I took a picture with him. And then we brought it back because we're like, dude, this is going to be great for the campaign, right? We bring it back and my campaign shit all over it. Like, we're not using that fucking picture. We don't like that guy. Hoosiers don't like that guy. And that picture never saw the light of day. But Steve got us back there.
Yeah.
Because he's not conservative.
Who?
Bill Mayer.
Bill Mayer? I don't know why. I think it was because the progressives hated him so much, and we were under the false impression that the progressives were going to back me. Wrong. But so we were kissing progressive ass unnecessarily.
But it's weird because they would choose a libertarian or Todd Young over you. Or what?
Because it's a purity test. I had a good friend of mine. He may be listening, so I'm not going to get too much into it about who this is.
Okay.
This person, I know this person fairly well. Not like good friends, not like us, okay? Yeah. But like I know this person fairly well.
He's in your circle?
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of.
Fringe.
Okay?
Fringe.
No, but I know a lot of people. I know this person. I respect him a lot. He respects me a lot. Yeah. Okay. He has a son who's going to school like downstate in one of the schools. I'm not even going to get into that because I don't want to like tip you off who this person is.
How far south?
I won't say.
Okay.
Okay. So this guy decides to tell me like 2 weeks before my election why his son's not voting for me. Okay. And he sends me the long text that his son sent him about why he's not voting for me. And then like it was basically like, fuck McDermott. He's a freaking Republican acting like a Democrat. Oh. He's like not progressive enough. He doesn't support this. He doesn't support that. I'm not voting for him. Right. And I was thinking to myself, why the fuck did this guy send this to me?
Yeah.
Like it just takes you off your game. Like I don't care if your kid votes for me or not, right?
Sure, yeah.
I would rather him vote for me. But if he's not, just shut the fuck up. Like, don't tell me that shit. Because, like, I don't want to, like, It ruined my day.
Yeah.
I read that fucking text and I'm like, and quite frankly, I feel different about that person now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what the fuck did you send that to me for? Like, what was the purpose? To ruin my day? Because congratulations, you did. Because like you start asking yourself, like, this person's supposed to be my fucking friend, and his kid doesn't even vote for me, and you know me personally.
But it's also insulting because you're a moderate. You're a bit left of center. Your whole show is that. Your whole. Right. I mean, you're. What do you call one of these things?
Mug.
No.
Thank you, John. A mug.
No, I'm talking about this.
Your handle?
No. The
gradient.
This advertising that you do, where it's
logo?
just shaded. Your logo.
Okay.
Damn it, your logo is left of center.
Yeah.
Like even on the shading. So why would they send that to you? Are you supposed to act more progressive because of that text?
Yes, I think. But like what I'm saying is, so for that kid, he was happy that I lost because I'm not left enough. So now he's got, I'm not left enough. So now he's got Todd Young, who is super conservative. And is that kid better off? Like, that's the question the kid has to ask himself. So, like, you have these purity tests that you demand your Democratic officials follow, and if they don't, you vote against them. And instead, you're left with Todd Young, who's super ultra conservative. Are you better off, kid?
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like people who had these hardcore progressive issues in mind, defund the police, we don't need the police. Like, you go move to Portland, you can't live there because there's just addicts everywhere, and there's, it became completely
I agree
dangerous.
with you, John.
And now the city's screwed. So, like, when is there going to be a moderate party in America?
I agree with you, John.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be, I know my Democratic friends are, and by the way, John, you've been a Democrat your whole career, your whole life. You grew up Democrat, right?
Yes.
So, like, that's an interesting question. But anyway, like, we glossed over the fact that Popovich was making was spewing facts. In my opinion,
it's so everybody who is undecided needs to watch this.
All right, let's hit it real quick.
So he's pathetic. He's small. He's a whiner. We all know that.
Talking about Trump.
But you wouldn't have him babysit your kids. You wouldn't hire him if you had a small business. You want that man in your business? There's no way. But you're going to vote for him for president because he's strong? I mean, Kamala Harris whipped his ass in the debate. Just obviously.
He talks like
he's rubbing.
I agree. And he's down in Texas spewing facts like this. Like, that is not popular where he sits. He's in San Antonio, Texas, spewing facts.
At a press conference, that's some kind of podcast or press conference.
This audience is pissed hearing these words. 80% of them are like, maybe 70% of them don't agree with what he's saying. And he's still like, fuck you. I'm going to tell you how it is, That's
definitely
what I love
about
him. I love that about him, John. Yes. That's what I love. By the way, I think this show has a little bit of that same DNA that Popovich is spewing. I think that's why Lockpot is popular, is because we say things that people don't say. Popovich would love this show. And if we ask him to come on, Steve, I think he'd come on. I really do.
And you know what the funny part is? I'm thinking about behind the scenes. He's got a Kevin Smith sitting on his shoulder. Like, do not say that. You don't need to say that.
We got to ask him that.
What are you going to gain by saying that?
Who's your Kevin Smith?
Yeah, who's your Kevin Smith? And and then he says the same thing to his Kevin Smith that you do. Like, no, fuck that. I'm going to say how I feel. Kevin's like, nah, I don't think you should do that. But everybody needs that Kevin on their shoulder.
Hey, Javez.
Yeah.
Could we go to the next topic? I want to ask you. So you saw the Madison Square Garden Trump rally, right?
Yes.
Like, and then the comedian is, it seems to be that's the biggest takeaway from the whole Madison Square Garden rally. First off, Trump's holding a rally in Madison Square Garden, which is obviously New York, which is not going to vote for Trump, but he still wants to show his power in a Democratic part of the state
it's
country.
A huge rally.
It's a huge rally in a huge venue, and I'm sure Trump, being a New Yorker at heart, really wanted to do something at Madison Square Garden because that'd be cool, right?
Right.
I had a rally at Madison Square Garden and I filled the place. That's a cool thing.
And did he ever? Yeah.
Right. But like, what coming away from this, everybody's focusing on the comedian that performed. First off, I've been to a lot of political rallies. I've never seen a comedy act. I've never seen
That's
one.
a good point.
I mean, I've been to DNCs. I've been to state conventions. I've never seen a comedian. And if you're going to see a comedian talking about like demographic groups of Americans in an election, like talking about Puerto Ricans, for instance. Like, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to win an election, or are we trying to entertain people?
He's a roaster. He's someone that roasts people. Why would you have somebody that roasts people give a speech? Because that's what people want to see. That's what they're expecting to see. And why would you have him there within 2 weeks of an election? It's bizarre.
It's like, I think Trump is like blurring the lines of politics and entertainment. And right now, people are voting. Right now, you need people to vote. You need to stop entertaining and start being a politician. And I think that Trump seriously hurt his campaign with this comedian, John. Do you?
No, I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, do you want to play it and talk? Or?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's go to the first one.
I got a theory too. So yeah, let's
go. Well,
all right, here we go.
And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that. They do. They do. There's no pulling out. They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
I mean, I thought that was kind of funny.
It's okay.
The next one's really
interesting.
Controversial.
It's interesting, but it's interesting and it's a little funny. But I could totally see how a huge part of the city of Hammond would be offended by that. But I mean,
why? Why would anyone be offended by that?
It's just not smart in a political race to start targeting demographic groups that in Hammond vote.
The problem with it is it implies that all Latinos are here illegally.
True story.
Yes.
True story.
But even in his remark about that, he's poking fun at the Southern accent like they did to our country. He's making fun of both, really.
Right.
Yeah. Which, by the way, his whole act, he made fun of everyone. Don't get the wrong idea that he was just poking fun at Puerto Ricans.
But unfortunately for him, when he pokes fun at Puerto Ricans, they're not going to play his whole stand-up act. They're just going to play that clip.
Right.
Yes.
And taken out of context, if you just hear that clip, it's not that funny.
Here is that clip.
Okay.
But there's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Damn.
Okay.
Dude. Now,
that was the big one.
Let's think about the states that are out there still, that are battleground states. Pennsylvania is the biggest one that we all talk about. I just saw a statistic that said there's 300,000 Puerto Ricans living in the state of Pennsylvania alone. And now you're talking about a state that's literally 1 or 2%, going to go either way by 1 or 2%, and you alienate 300,000 Puerto Ricans. If he was talking about Irish, if that was the Irish island he was talking about, I'd be like, fuck this guy. I'm never voting for him. Because I'm like, you're insulting my heritage, my nationality, my ancestors,
brothers and sisters,
right?
Yes,
you're insulting everything that I'm about. There's no way I would ever support that ticket.
Well, and you're talking shit about my mama because if you're Puerto Rican, your mom is well, for most people would be Puerto Rican also. So
right,
yeah, obviously people can come from different ethnicities, but it's offensive to everybody. So I don't know why you would say any of this. It's just like, this is as big of a blunder letting this guy speak as when they accidentally had their press conference at the Four Seasons. Like, this is
that was wild,
this
dude.
Is just
that was a pretty bad one,
dude.
too.
I will never forget that.
With the mascara running down his face.
Fucking crazy.
Oh my god, I can never look at Rudy Giuliani the same way after that.
No,
ever. The Four Seasons porn shop, or no,
landscaping
the porn shop
or something.
Four Seasons landscaping with the porn
in an
shop.
alley.
Yeah.
It was like
Didn't I give it away when there was a porn shop next door, Rudy?
Yeah, you know what? Why can't you, his staff actually set up a press conference in front of that place? When you get there and you're on the staff,
You're like, wrong place, cancel.
Yeah, change of plans.
Right.
Change of plans.
As
Just
soon as you
find
get
somewhere.
there,
Yes,
this isn't going to work.
Yeah, so that shows you, how ridiculously, ill-advised that the whole campaign is. And, they had a bunch of interviews about this guy, and they're like, well, he wasn't vetted. He wasn't vetted, and I'm like, you can't tell me that his speech is not on a teleprompter. They didn't already have it ahead of time.
Great point.
Right.
Yes, I mean,
and why would you let somebody, when you're talking 2 weeks before an election, 12 days, whatever we are before the election, you're going to let somebody you hardly know that's a comedian go on stage and say whatever he wants and alienate people? That's just, it's incredibly, it shows poor judgment.
Can I say this too? I think that this might be designed. Let's talk about the opposite end of the spectrum. They have the demographics. They have all their statisticians coming in and telling them what to do. And that guy, that comic, that insult comic, he's targeting young men. In August, he filled Madison Square Gardens back to back, overflowing with young men. And so that's who Trump is really trying to get at, trying to get them out, trying to inspire them, trying to get them to vote. Like the Taylor Swift is trying to get young girls to vote. He's trying to use people like Joe Rogan. He went on Joe Rogan for 3 hours.
And then Joe Rogan came out and said he wasn't voting for him.
Did he really? I didn't hear
Trump
that.
melted down. Yeah. Like
What?
Trump melted down and said, I want to see Joe Rogan the next time he walks into a UFC ring, what kind of booze he gets. But yeah, Joe Rogan.
Oh, that was
Joe didn't say, was it?
Yeah, that was before the interview.
Was it?
Yeah, that was like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I apologize about the out of order.
Yeah.
But so if you talk about the 300,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania, they probably know how many registered Puerto Ricans there are there. And, I don't know if Pennsylvania has a voter registration state, but they probably know how many are registered. And that insult comic is going to inspire all these young men who think that that's funny to disparage other people. So I think that a lot of Trump fans like when he disparages other people. Mm-hmm. He disparages races, religions,
what do you think about
handicapped
that, John?
people. So they know what they're doing, and this is a targeted attack. What about that idea?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, going after a certain voter base with these kind of comics and podcasters.
And the whole rhetoric.
I want to say, though.
So you think the whole thing was sort of planned, John?
Which John?
John Cantrell.
Yeah.
You think this is, they know they're going to lose, in this case, the Puerto Rican vote, but they think that silent pickups are going to be more than the 300,000 they lost.
Because there's way more young white males
more than 300,000
in Pennsylvania
more than
there
300,000.
Yeah.
So you're saying the math, they're doing the math. They don't care about the fact that they're alienating Puerto Ricans. They're like, okay, it's only 270,000 in Pennsylvania, but there's 500,000 white guys that are going to think this is hilarious, and they're going to vote for us quietly. Yeah. That's interesting.
Right, so
John, what do you think of that?
So
I don't even think he's going to lose much of the Puerto Rican vote.
Really?
No,
could you play the next clip real quick?
He is for sure.
I don't.
Let's see. Let's see. This is a example of what I found. Yeah. But Puerto Rico.
I'm a Puerto Rican born in America. My grandfather was drafted and fought in World War II, and I had 3 uncles that fought in Vietnam. Puerto Rico is not an island of garbage. All right, we're part of America.
It's sad that people even have to freaking say that shit, dude. It's sad.
Well,
it'd be like calling me non-American. I'm Irish. It's stupid. It's like Puerto Ricans are a huge part of our country, a huge part of our DNA, and I don't know why any presidential candidate singles out like different demographic groups like that. We're a country. We're a melting pot.
I wanted to have this discussion because they're talking about well, this is going to affect the Pennsylvania election because it's so close, and you don't want to do that. Right. So. There's 120. I looked this up last night at 3 a.m. because I have insomnia. So I was just looking at demographics in Pennsylvania. Are there a lot of Puerto Ricans there? So Allegheny, there's 125,000 people live in Allegheny, and that's a bigger city with they said a huge Puerto Rican population. And the city is 17% Hispanic. So what percentage of that is Puerto Rican, and what percentage of that is registered to vote? And so, it's not really like a whole. They're acting like it's a whole lot of people, but it's not really a whole lot of people. So, I think it's by design, or it's another good example of the Four Seasons.
Yeah,
this is a Four-season mistake. Then.
I think it's more likely that the guy came on 7 hours before Trump. He's
I agree
just
with you.
Warming up with the crowd.
Right.
I'll be honest. I don't even think the floating garbage joke wasn't even funny to me. But I will say, I think you can. I'm going to say something unpopular. I think you can joke about racial stereotypes and not be racist.
Right.
I think you can.
Right.
Look at.
Dave Chappelle does it all the time, right? But he makes jokes about his own race a lot of times, and he can get away with it because he's of that race. That'd be like me, calling Irishmen, derogatory names, right? I could do it. I'm Irish. Obviously, I'm not discriminating against Irish people because I am Irish, right?
Yes.
Right. So, hey guys, we got to do some ads here eventually. So I'm not trying.
I was just gonna say, I think when it comes to comedy, censorship has to be off limits. Personally,
yeah.
Even if you don't like it,
I agree, John. I don't like the fact that believe me, at any moment on Lockpod we could find ourselves in serious hot water, right?
Yeah.
Because we're joking around.
Right.
99% of the time we're in the studio. So believe me, I'm always wary of that.
But if you say things as comedy to me, I might beat your ass, depending on how offensive they want to be. So, voters can...
somebody may be.
Voters
not
can
you
punch
necessarily.
back.
Right.
Voters can punch back.
So can mayors.
Yeah.
Right. Let's go. Powering Indiana, Lake County, our premier studio sponsor. Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. Are you thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or does your business have plans to break ground on a new project? If so, don't leave important projects in the wrong hands. With IBEW Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today to ensure your projects in the hands of skilled professionals who deliver on time and on budget. Find your electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint Printing, the premier printing and sign solutions in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Great timing, TMM.
Thank you.
With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Ballensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within your budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint Printing is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions. Visit them at misprintusa.com and bring your vision of life today.
No need to dress up. It's a casual place. Bring the whole family. We have plenty of space. A hidden gem in Hammond. You don't have to drive far. Delicious food, great service, and yes, a full bar. Try our homemade pizza chips, Italian beef, sausage, marinara, and more. We have delicious pizza, pasta, and Italian foods galore. Don't go where they don't remember you. It's just not the same. Come to Frankie V's, where everyone really knows your name. Visit us today at thefrankiev's.com. That's thefrankiev's.com for specials, full menu, and hours.
That's a good read.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. You don't get the John Vesmar read.
Yeah.
You don't get the Vesmar read. I know John is.
He's fired up.
You call my office, you hear the Vesmar, the Vez. Welcome to the mayor's office. It's the Vez. If you ever want to hear John's voice, just call 853-6302.
How much is it? How much is it?
Oh, yeah. Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? If so, give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with somebody who's in the court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW. That's 219-554-4529. Or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you. I'll never forget that phone number.
You made it up. You shouldn't forget it.
That was so funny.
It's sexy. It's 219-554-4529. That's 4LAW. Yeah.
4LAW.
Spell it out.
When we first plugged in that phone, John and I were both sitting there. We just started the law firm, and we worked hard to get the 4529 at the end, and we plugged the phone in. We were both just sort of sitting there looking at it, like, when's this thing going to start ringing? We were waiting for this phone to ring so we could make money. We were like looking at it like, how come it never rings, man?
That's why I know so much about you, because you run out of things to talk about.
Dude, you and I, that was so crazy. Starting a law firm, we were freaking 2 kids.
Yeah.
And now, like, the law firm is thriving with you and your wife. You guys are killing it. You guys are big time lawyers. So congratulations.
Thank you. It's 24 years of blood, sweat, and tears, for sure.
Man.
Yeah. Calumet Brewing. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and wholesome grains, producing a crisp, refreshing finish. With Michelob Ultra, there's no better time to crack open a cold one. Head over to Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra social media for info on this great family of beers. Enjoy Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Should I read this one?
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. Relax. Lighten up, people. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortillas Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
All right. Thank you for our ads and our sponsors. You know, when we were talking about the Madison Square Garden speech, there was another big speech for Trump this week that had a couple clips that made Lockpod. Yeah, the one with Tucker Carlson is ridiculous, but we'll get to that in a second. But this, it was like a convention, Turning Point USA. John, are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
What is it?
TPUSA, that's Charlie Kirk's. He's a big conservative voice. That's his organization. Mm-hmm. Just a conservative group, like targeting, like for younger people across the country.
It's a religious organization, right?
I don't think inherently. I think it's just conservative.
They try to go to colleges and places where young people hang out and get them to register. They go to concerts. They really even try to go on college campuses and try to, they open up a conservative organization within the school.
So you think they're at Notre Dame, places like that?
Oh yeah, and
for sure,
for sure, 100% for sure. And they even try to. They'll spend money to help conservative candidates get within student government at particular universities.
No
it's
way.
Pretty intense, yeah. Like they're spending money on college campus president elections.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
huge.
yes. They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
They get endowments, so they got money to spend. So they take it. And if you go to a college and you have a conservative event and you throw a fun party, people are like, oh yeah, this is cool.
So where was this convention? Do you guys know?
Arizona, I believe.
In Arizona. So the reason I thought it was religious, John, is because of this picture we have of Trump sitting surrounded by
look at that.
30, 40 white people.
If you're
full of plastic surgery.
Yes,
lot of big lips.
Look at that.
If you were watching
fake ass people,
if
man.
you're watching this
I know.
right now,
And what I mean by that, by the way, the fish lips, it's a thing I don't love about what's going on in America nowadays is you start to see the women with the lips that are poking out. It's just like
some dudes too.
Yeah.
Guys get it too. Yeah.
I just don't get that, man. But I see a lot of that in here, and that's what I was talking about.
If you were undecided
clarify.
and you can see this picture on the screen right now, look at the far left. Look at the guy's hair on the farthest left and the lady next to him. Look at their faces. Like those are the people that
that guy's got serious
help.
amounts of plastic surgery.
But look at his hair. That's an irrational human being. Those are the people.
Agree.
Those are the people that you want to help make decisions for your country.
Let's just go down the line.
Yes.
Look at this. Just the
yeah.
The only one in this picture, and I've always thought he was sincere, was Ben Carson. I don't know if you guys like him or not.
Where
but
is he?
Right here.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
The
Right in
only
front.
black guy in the picture, Tom.
Yeah, he's the
Ben
only African
Carson.
American in the
Yeah.
picture. Ben Carson. I didn't realize that was him.
I like Ben, man.
I like Ben too.
But this is so fake. They're like,
It's
wait,
so
stop.
fake.
They're like, wait, stop. Put the African American guy at the front.
Exactly.
Agree.
And yeah, I mean,
agree. There's literally there's 40 something people in the picture.
Yeah.
Every one of them is white. They got Ben Carson, the only African American. They're like, hey, get out in front.
Oh, and the Asian gentleman, they put him in the front too.
Yeah.
The one Asian gentleman.
Oh yeah, his head's down. Okay.
But like they're all touching Donald Trump's shoulder and praying for him. That's why I thought it was a religious organization.
It looks like he's getting ready to shoot a free throw and the game is tied and the whole team is.
They're all like patting him on the back.
Like you got
Yeah,
this,
hit this
bro.
one. Yeah, he's on
just
like the
don't-
bench.
Yeah, just you in the basket. Yeah. But the whole shtick with him being religious is just funny to me. You know, yeah. I mean, it's bizarre, and like the fact that you would take a Bible and add things to it about you getting shot at. And then selling them for an inflated amount of money, like If you wrote a TV show about what was going on here, it would be like this is too ridiculous stuff. Like,
do you remember when we were younger? There was a
life.
Stephen King movie called The Stand. I think. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Was it The Stand or like if there was correct us. I think I'm probably wrong. Chat. This was a one about a guy that could see the future. Like if he shook your hand. Like if you and I shook hands, I could see the future. Like I could see your future, and then he shook hands with this politician, and he saw the future, and this politician became Donald Trump, man. And this show was written in the 1980s. No, who Donald Trump is now. He became this president that was like a monster, and like so like I think it was called The Stand. So this guy was like, he knew when he shook that politician's hand, he's like, this guy's going to like tear the country apart. He's going to be the horrible president. So he made it his life's mission to assassinate the president. And
the dead zone.
The dead zone. Yep. Thank you. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. It was, every time I think about Donald Trump and what he's doing right now, I think about that show I saw when I was a little kid, the Stephen King movie, The Dead Zone. It was Donald Trump was that guy in the movie. It was a weird.
So you know, like my mind wanders. I can't sleep, and like this is what I see coming. Okay, let's say, God forbid, no offense, Vesmar, the Donald wins. God forbid. God forbid.
It could happen, man.
Yeah,
this could. Do you agree, John?
It's going to happen.
You
It's
think,
going to
so,
be
John?
a
You straight
landslide.
up think he's going to win?
Electoral landslide, maybe even popular.
Okay.
And I'm up nights about
it. I think Kamala's going to win,
it.
but I'm worried. I don't think it's a lock by any stretch.
So he obviously the Donald has a bunch of crazy ideas about like keeping everlasting power, and
what?
You know what? Yes, that's what he's trying to do.
All right.
Yeah, and he's going to set this up to where he stays in power, but he's not going to live forever. So, like, what madman is coming behind him? Like, after Hitler dies,
J.D.
who's
Vance.
going to take over? Yeah, it's fucking crazy. You know, I mean, hide your couches. Like,
Speaking
this
of
is
crazy,
alarming.
Speaking of crazy, can we do this next clip?
Yeah.
No, John, I hate to do this to you because I always thought you like Tucker a little bit, and I'm not like putting words in your mouth, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can't fucking stand Tucker. Tucker Carlson brings out emotions in me that are violent. I want to fucking punch this guy every time I hear him talk.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. Everyone relax.
If I was in front of Tucker, but like one of my favorite moments was that Montana guy.
Yeah.
That guy was like laughing at Tucker, but.
He gets in people's heads. He's effective. He's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's play this one. This is
ridiculous.
weird, man. This is really weird. It's sort of cringy.
How do you fall for this?
Yeah, here we go. This is at the Turning Point conference.
There has to be a point at which Dad comes home.
Dad is Trump.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
Dad comes home. And he's pissed. Dad is pissed. He's not vengeful. He loves his children. Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children, they live in his house. But he's very disappointed in their behavior. And he's going to have to let them know. He's going to have to get to your room right now and think about what you did. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me.
We got to cut that clip first off. You've been a bad girl. We got to keep that one for Lindsay.
Vigorous spanking.
Except for Trump's going to come in and try to make out with his stepdaughter and grab her by the vagina, not pay the kids their tuition because he never pays any of his employees pay their allowance. Like, he is a bad dad. He is a bad
Biden's
stepfather.
not.
But like,
The diary.
Did you guys
Do we want to go there?
Like, Tucker is sort of talking about Trump, like Trump is Jesus Christ. Do you guys? Am I wrong on this? Like, when you hear people talk about the Lord, they're like, you know, you were all his children. He watches over his flock. You know. Like, he's talking about Trump the same way. We're all his children, and when Daddy gets home, Daddy's going to be mad, and Daddy's going to take you girls upstairs and give you a vigorous spanking. What the fuck is going on here? That guy is a freak.
But if you hear pastors talk about Trump, he's kind of godlike. If you listen to some of these sermons and this take in the South, I don't know how anybody who's religious could idolize him or like him.
It's so gross.
I've seen Tucker give some incredible speeches. For example, the Madison Square Garden speech was one of the best speeches I've ever seen.
Really?
This was not one of those speeches. He lost me when he started talking about vigorously spanking.
I think he's kinky and he likes spanking girls personally. I think, and it came out accidentally during his speech. I guarantee you Tucker's got some girl spanking problems in his past.
You think so?
Like, that doesn't come out. That's not written in the speech. He didn't say, yeah, I'm going to say you've been a bad girl and I'm going to give you a vigorous spanking. They're like, strike that part.
If you want to watch it, he's got a really weird look on his face when he is talking about that. So, yeah.
Good thing we got the podium there. You can't see underneath his belt.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, don't stand up. Vesmar, what made Tucker's speech so good at Madison Square Gardens? What did you like about it? Because I didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it?
No.
It's just 10 minutes. I watched the full thing. He talks about two main reasons why he likes Trump and why the Democrats can't figure out why roughly half of America likes Trump. And he breaks it down, and I just think he did a really good job.
Why do you think that? I heard somebody the other day talking about why good people vote for Donald Trump. Like, people in my family who I love and I respect are voting for Donald Trump. And I read an article or heard something, and it was basically, it's just a fuck you to the political class. That they hate politics so much. They don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth, but they hate politics and politicians so much. This is the way that they deal with it, by voting for this fucking asshole that basically gives his finger to the entire system. Is that accurate?
That was one part of Tucker's point is we've been lied to for so long about so many things that are really just crazy, like men can be women and stuff like that, and people are just sick of it, sick of the sensationalized topics that they vote for someone who says enough's enough.
Right.
And I could totally see that.
I agree. There's definitely that element in voting for Trump because, in my opinion, problem with the Democratic Party nowadays is we're like holier than thou in a lot of cases. Like, oh, you can't say that about this, or you can't do that, or like the lady the other day when I was at Mayor's Night Out, and she's like, you can't. I'm a non-binary transvestite. You can't call me ma'am. Right. And I'm just trying to be fucking polite.
Right.
Like that's the kind of shit that the Democratic Party has going against it is attitudes like that. Like if I meet you, John, and you're non-binary trans, you look like a guy to me, right? So I'm like, hi, how you doing, sir? Yep. And then you're like, what the fuck, sir? Like, you can't say that to me. I'm non-binary trans. Like, how the hell do I know you're non-binary trans? You look like a dude, right?
Well, and if she would have, if that person would have just said, hey, this is how I identify, you'd be like, okay. And
but it wasn't like that. Instead, they were rude.
Yeah, diplomacy is a huge part of life.
It's a major problem if you're non-binary. That's a major problem is most people are not non-binary, and most people see a woman or a man, and they say yes or no, sir, to be polite. That's the way we were raised. And it's going to be hard to break that pattern if you're non-binary trans. And I think, and the reason I'm bringing that specific situation up is that kind of woke ideology is infesting the Democratic Party, and it's not appealing to people that don't think like that.
What offends? It offends moderates, and
like myself. I'm a moderate.
Me too.
I'm a Democrat, proud Democrat, but I'm a moderate Democrat, and like that kind of shit makes me crazy.
Yeah, it's very off-putting, and there's so many other ways.
You should get off-putting.
What's that?
I just heard.
I should get off-putting?
It was Zach Galifianakis was with a famous actress, and then he says,
"Was this between two ferns?"
Yes. He says something. He goes. She says something to him, and then she goes, "Because you're fat." And he goes, "That's very off-putting." And she goes, "You should get off-putting."
That's a setup.
It was total setup, but it was hilarious. Yeah, he goes, "You shouldn't say that. It's very off-putting." She goes, "You should get off-putting."
It might have been John Hamm, actually.
Yeah.
Some of those interviews are hilarious.
I love that show.
Yes.
So. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do our last set of ads. And when we come back, if you're a Strava person, which I am, there is a badass story about Strava and how it's leading to insecurity for our presidential candidates. Very interesting story coming up. So let's start off with the Ron J. Prestimer Insurance Agency, which has been located right on the boulevard for decades, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestimer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. The Prestimer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron and Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
The Branding Room Floor. Don't let your business get lost in the shuffle of generic branding and aimless marketing. Trust Northwest Indiana's award-winning full-service marketing agency, The Branding Room Floor. Providing data-driven results to help your business grow in a crowded market is their specialty. From website development and digital advertising to graphic design and branding, The Branding Room Floor will set your business or organization on a clear path to strategic success. Don't wait to get started. Visit thebrandingroomfloor.com today.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need help buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Forming a new business? Call Kuklakis Law. Injured in a car crash or at work? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Who are you going to call? I want to hear it, guys.
Kuklakis Law.
Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business, Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
MCR Partners. MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunity. For more information, check out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. Or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to the Godfather of Booty, Matt Reardon, at 219-741-9511. That's 219-741-BUTT. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't spell that out. It's 219-741-9511.
The Godfather of
the Rear Don.
The Rear Don.
The Rear Don.
Yeah,
only Cantrell could put that together.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, this is an interesting story because when I started riding mountain bikes, a friend of mine was like, "Are you on Strava?" And I was like, "What the hell is that?" And at that time, I forgot which app I used whenever I tracked my workouts, but it wasn't Strava. And he's like, "Dude, you have to download this app. You don't do Strava,
I'm
do you?"
familiar with it.
So, like, the thing about Strava that's unique, first off, it took the biking world by storm. It started off with cyclists, mountain bikers, road cyclists. What it allows you to do is race each other. So, like, we develop routes. So let's say John and I live on the same block. So let's say we made Knickerbocker Parkway a route on Strava. You could ride on Knickerbocker Parkway today and go as fast as you can, right? I could ride on Knickerbocker Parkway next week and go as fast as I can, and we can compare our times together.
Nice. That's fun.
It's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's the coolest part of it.
I can challenge you.
And then, like, your best time is always up against my best time, and it counts the number of times we do it. Calls you like King of the Mountain. There's all kinds of little awards you can get.
Knickerbocker in 69 minutes. If you can beat that, tell me.
I don't know. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, so the thing about Strava that's interesting is, so you can set up a Strava routes. I've done quite a few in Hammond. I have like the Mayor Tom route. I have like all kinds of routes I developed in Hammond, and I have routes I follow. And then what happens is, in time, you start doing these routes so much, you develop like hundreds of different times on these routes, and it knows how fast you do everything. And you could literally, if you know my patterns, John, if you know I usually leave at 1 o'clock, usually at 1:30, I'm going to be at this location because you've seen me on Strava. It shows my whole pattern.
I could hit you with water balloons.
You could like literally be waiting on a quarter and hit me with water balloons.
Nice.
Or whatever you want to hit me with, right?
Pudding.
So like if you put enough attention into Strava, and if you're looking at one person in particular, you can start to figure out their patterns. So Strava was aware of this, and so what it would do, so like let's say I'm a single woman and I live in a big city and I'm attractive and I work out by myself, right?
I could see that.
Bad people could be like, this person usually goes jogging at 8 a.m. This is the route she takes. This is how fast she runs. I'm going to go hide in the bush over here, and I bet you right around this time she's going to come running by. And so what happened was Strava was aware of this, and they're like, listen, we're going to have to start changing the location, like blurring it out and blurring out the end so that we can make it and not give you the times. So Strava is aware that you can start triangulating people. So Strava started making it a little bit harder. This story is very interesting, okay? A French newspaper called Le Monde, which I imagine is a big newspaper in France. I don't read French newspapers.
Oh.
An investigation by French newspaper Le Monde found that the highly confidential movement of U.S. President Joe Biden, presidential rivals Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, and other world leaders can be easily tracked online through a fitness app that their bodyguards use. But the U.S. Secret Service told the newspaper that it doesn't believe the protection it provides was in any way compromised. So this is the thinking. Let's say I know John Cantrell is Secret Service agent, and John Cantrell is usually in the president's detail. He's also a big fitness buff, and John likes to work out. Yes. And John is part of Strava, and I'm friends with John on Strava, right?
Yes.
So John disappears, and he doesn't tell people where he goes because John's in the Secret Service, and you don't want people to know where the president's going to be. And John will sometimes go places 2 or 3 days before the president gets there just to get on the ground and make sure everything's cool, right? And to get the plan in place, right?
Team, yeah.
So let's say John flew out to France because president's coming out there in a couple of days, and John's staying at a hotel in France where he likes to jog when the president's not there, and John's logging all his shit on Strava.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And it's not just one agent that's doing this. It's multiple agents on Strava. It's a social media app, basically, when it boils down to it. And these guys are giving away their locations days before the president or the major candidate gets there on Strava.
This is hilarious because their reaction is no security was compromised. They're like, yeah, because, okay, we're going to stop doing it from now on.
Right.
Nobody got shot, so we're good. So nobody's security was compromised. But, yeah, like you're lucky that this French newspaper through like an expose told them what problems they were having. Like,
Isn't
that's
that crazy?
Yes. Yeah.
In one example, Le Monde traced the Strava movements of Macron's bodyguards to determine that the French leader spent a weekend in the Normandy seaside resort of Honfleur in 2021. The trip was meant to be private and wasn't listed on the president's official agenda.
Oh.
Wild.
Enchanté.
So not only, so if you're a Strava person you know where the French president's house is that he likes to hide in.
Nice.
Dude, that is not good.
No.
So, like,
I mean,
like if you're a Secret Service agent, you're going to have to go off the grid. You can't be, like, in social media groups anymore.
Right.
You can't be, like, sharing your location ever. Like, you have to be like a CIA agent in a lot of ways.
If you have a phone on you, you are being tracked. If you have a phone on you, they can listen to what you're saying, and the phone's not on.
Right.
That's factual.
I know.
So,
And John, you see that in your criminal cases, right?
Yes.
I mean, I know for a fact, John, because I'm on the other side of the matter when I'm with the cops, right? Yes. And I'm telling you, we catch people through their phones.
All the time.
Over 90% of the time.
All the time.
Through their phones.
Yeah, and then
or through their Oura Rings, or through their Apple Watch, or through something you're not thinking about. You're carrying your freaking iPad. Yeah. Like, criminals fuck up.
Hammond police are great because they will ask somebody, like they want them to admit that, okay, they didn't participate in a murder, but admit that they were present at a location. They're like, a person will say, no, I wasn't even around there, and their phone data puts them right there. Mm-hmm. So then they use that. They use that against them. Like you said, you weren't even there. Your phone was there. You're lying and saying you weren't there because you're a murderer and you did it.
That's right.
And it's very effective.
And then they crack.
And then it's very effective.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest though, like if you're a Secret Service agent and you're part of the advanced team, and you go out there and you're one night, you got a free night, you're like, I'm gonna open this app, track my literal location, knowing that it's on my public profile.
It's stupid.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, that's dumb, right? But like they never thought about it, obviously.
So all these things that are going on with the Secret Service, you assume that the president is heavily protected since the Secret Service just evolved after what happened to John Kennedy. You'd think that they're on top of it and they do everything. And when
they're
Trump
not,
got
obviously.
this is the second example. Like what was going on? Like if you shouldn't get on a roof when a president or a former president is speaking, because you might get hit by a Secret Service agent. If you're watching with binoculars, you are being watched. And that kid was crawling on the roof in Pennsylvania that whole time. It's a comedy of errors.
People were telling the Secret Service agent there was a guy on the roof, and they had to, like, bureaucracy. And remember, initially they blamed the local police.
Yeah.
Like what? Like the Hammond cops. If a presidential candidate gets shot in Hammond, it's not the Hammond cops' fault. I hate to break it to you. It's the Secret Service's fault.
If you read what happened that day, they're like, what happened with the kid that was looking through the scope? So they saw him looking through a scope, and then they didn't know where he went after that, and they were trying to find him.
And the fact that there's no drones in a situation like that is incredible. Like you have a presidential candidate speaking, and you put a drone up in there, you can see everything. Yeah. Like everything.
And I think the icing on the cake for the head of the Secret Service was when she said, we didn't have agents on that roof because it was too sloped.
But not for him. He was fine. Your agents can't do it, though.
He was tap dancing on that roof.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we pulled it off without the caboose.
The compass.
Thanks,
Some say even better.
It was a good show. We had a good audience the whole time. I was noticing that.
Great audience.
I love looking at the live audience to get an indication of how the show's going. It does keep me, John, like if I do check the live audience numbers, and if it's down, I start feeling a little down. But I looked today, I was like, damn, man, it's solid numbers.
Can I say this?
Like, you can say whatever you want.
If I'm on the bench and I come in and I score a bunch of buckets, play good defense, make the other team's best player bleed, like I am trying to make my team better and also making the people who I come in for better.
Yeah, I know.
Like I want to elevate Kevin's game.
He doesn't feel
pressure
though, because we're in his office. That's the thing he's got going for him.
He feels pressure.
Really?
He feels pressure. I know he does.
He does feel pressure.
He
doesn't like
missing
shows. Kevin does not like missing shows.
Yeah, he doesn't want me to get in the game. If he sprains his ankle, I might take over his spot. So he needs to elevate his game, and that's where I'm trying to help him.
We know Kevin's pissed if he gives us a lease. Okay, like if we have to start paying rent for this thing, we know we messed up.
That's
yes.
Kevin's like, hey, I want to talk to Lockpot about lease.
You know he's listening right now.
Oh,
you
of course.
know for sure.
He's punching his dashboard driving to Chicago right now. The sons of bitches. It's a good show, damn it.
He's in a fake trial right now. He's not. He doesn't have the ability to listen unless he's got an earpiece in, which is possible.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a fake trial. It's not a real trial. He could have an earpiece in.
No, he's very serious.
Thanks for doing the show with us, JRC.
Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you, man. And I hope Lindsay's feeling better. And we're going to be back on Friday, Vez, with... Are we putting Jack on Friday?
I think so. We're supposed to film it Thursday.
We're going to drop, if that's the day we're running, we're going to drop the advertisement. But we got Jack Lencioni,
right?
The Golden Bachelor candidate.
Boom.
Yes.
The Golden Bachelor. This is on national TV. And what show is he doing? Lockpot. That's right.
Yes. Lockpot exclusive.
He's a region guy,
Yes.
just like Popovich. When we get Popovich for our show,
that's happening.
God willing.
I want that
happen,
to.
Steve.
I bet you Popovich comes on the show. Like we have no connection to this guy, so like we're gonna reach out and see if we can get him. I think we can, just because he's a badass.
He's
region
from
guy.
East Chicago. There's a connection.
That's right.
Yes.
Once we say it's the Mayor Hammond's podcast, he'll be on. I just have a feeling.
Yes.
Because he's a region dude. So and that'll be a good show. So thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate you. We love our audience. We couldn't do it without you. Thanks to everybody and to our sponsors and to our audience and to Smith Sursick Law Firm for hosting this. And we appreciate you all. That's season 13, episode 17 in the book. We're going to be back on Friday for a big show. See you then.
Vote for Kamala.
Go vote. Vote, everybody.
For Kamala.
Kamala.
Vote Democrat.
Take care, everybody. Lockpots
Vote
out.
for Commissioner Repay.